Hello and welcome to Sensational South. I'm Harish Upadhyaya. Over the next 30 minutes, we bring you all the major news and newsmakers from South India. Our top story today comes from Karnataka, where the Supreme Court this week delivered a split verdict in the hijab matter. While one judge upheld the Karnataka High Court order banning the hijab in schools and colleges, on the other, the second judge said that asking girls to remove hijab while going to colleges and schools is an attack on their dignity. So what does this verdict mean for the hijab matter, which has been rocking the state for the last 10 months or so? We'll debate that, but first the report.
There is no end to the hangama over hijab. 7 months after the Karnataka High Court upheld a government order banning hijab in educational institutes. Petitions challenging the hijab ban led to a split verdict in the Supreme Court. While one judge, Justice Hemant Gupta, dismissed the petitions, the other judge, Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia, was of a differing opinion. He said asking girls to take off their hijab is an attack on their privacy and dignity. He said that under the Indian constitutional scheme, wearing a hijab should be simply a matter of choice. It may or may not be a matter of essential religious practice, but it is still a matter of conscience, belief and expression. He said the government order and restrictions on hijab goes against value of fraternity and human dignity. The case has also to be seen in the perspective of the challenges already faced by a girl child in reaching her school. And are we making the life of a girl child any better by denying her education merely because she wears a hijab?
प्राइम मिनिस्टर से सबसे पहले मैं ये अपील करना चाहूँगी कि वो हमारे एजुकेशन को हम पे छोड़ दें और हमारे हिजाब को उसमें कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ना बने हमारा हिजाब, क्योंकि देखिए हिजाब हमारा राइट है और हमें इसको फॉलो करना है.
The matter will now be placed before the Chief Justice of India, who will constitute a larger bench to hear the case afresh. Till then, the hijab ban remains in place.
I expect the judgment. Definitely it will be in favor of Karnataka's rules and act. Whatever the rules and regulations which have been followed now will be valid till the judgment of the higher bench comes.
But many in the opposition are hoping for a more favourable order from a larger bench.
जो हाई कोर्ट का जजमेंट था मेरी राय में, it was bad in law, bad in terms of its contents, or it had misused Quranic commentaries and translation. This has serious ramifications and should not have been allowed.
As the legal battle drags on, petitioners feel the split verdict is a shot in the arm for them, since it's the first time that their arguments have been accepted.
Well, the petitioners believe that the split verdict in a way is a shot in the arm for them. We'll discuss this. We have an esteemed panel joining us today. We have Dr. Bharat Shetty, who's a Mangalore North MLA, joining us. We also have Mr. Shafiullah, who's an Islamic scholar and associated with the JDS. I'll come to you, Dr. Shetty, first. The petitioners believe that the fact that at least one judge, in a way, agree with their argument that this is about choice, this is about dignity. Do you believe that they see some positive from this verdict? How does the government see this?
As the Supreme Court's verdict is considered, we'll welcome whatever the verdict the Supreme Court gives us, and whatever the legal relief we can get from the Supreme Court, we'll go after it. We welcome whatever the judgment they're going to give. We don't have no qualms about it. And we are hoping that we are expecting the CJA to intervene, and obviously there will be a constitutional bench will be handling this, and I think justice will be served to the word uniformity.
Mr. Shafiullah, although the petitioners say that some of these comments are in their favor, at least observations made by Justice Dhulia, you also have to take into account the kind of observations made by Justice Gupta as well. He says just because something is written in a holy scripture, that can't be an essential religious practice. Isn't it a setback if a larger bench also, in a way, accepts those arguments or even the observations made in his judgment?
More than that, let us go into the history of how it all started. I want to take you when it started. There was a protest by the VHP and Bajrang Dal boys who were supported by BJP in the educational institutions where the girls were wearing the hijab for hundreds of years. And they were studying there and wearing the hijab, which is of the color of the uniform, similar to the color of the uniform. And there was no objection from any quarter, including the administration of the colleges, or the public, or the other students of the college. All of a sudden, after the BJP has come to power in Karnataka, few boys started agitating and demanding that the removal of hijab. At that point of time, it was the duty of the government or the police or the administration of the college to reprimand the boys who had nothing to do, who had no business in the girls wearing of hijab. There it all started. Once those boys have started
in fact, Mr. Shafula, the government has produced in the Karnataka High Court photographs showing that some of these girls were not wearing hijab when they were in the college premises earlier, much before the controversy started sometime late December last year.
Yeah, I am trying to tell the same thing. After the boys have agitated, the government has come into the picture by supporting the boys and bringing in a rule where to remove the hijab and come to the college without hijab to all the girls. And this is one can understand the agenda of the BJP. And what happens to the other boys when the Muslim girls wear the hijab and come to the college? I don't understand. And where there is a rule of wearing the uniform, and they are using the same color hijab, and it has not come in the way of any other person's education.
No, but Mr. Shafula, neither the Karnataka High Court nor the Supreme Court has brought this argument that none of those courts have said, in fact, that they see a political conspiracy here. In fact, the Karnataka High Court said that there were unseen hands and the Karnataka government should act on it.
See, unseen hands are there between the government of Karnataka and the boys who have agitated in the colleges. And those unseen hands has to be seen, and unseen intentions and unseen agenda of these groups which are agitating against the wearing of the hijab, and the support the government, Karnataka government has rendered to those boys by asking the girls to remove the hijab. There, another thing is, when the girls advocate went to the court, the government also has taken the side of the boys. And the boys who have agitated in the colleges, they have never come to the court, and they have never been represented. The government itself has represented those boys. This shows very well how partisan this government's agenda and intentions are. And we, the citizens of India, the Muslims of India...
Dr. Shetty, how would you respond to that? Whether it's the opposition or the petitioners constantly saying that this government did not act in a fair manner. It acted in a partisan manner.
Yeah, he has got to the point directly. Let me also get to the point. First thing is, as you said and as you have observed, the same girls, we have proof, the same girls used to come to the same college, same institution without wearing hijab. Without wearing hijab at all. Then in that school, there was no issue, no problem with this hijab stuff. Only a few girls, or 2-3 girls, or maybe more, not more than 5 girls, started this issue. This is not only the boys. The panelist was telling that the boys, Vishwa and the Parishad boys, Bajrangar boys, it's false. All the students of that college and the neighboring college, including girls, boys and girls, started protesting after that, because they said once you leave all this, you make all this legal, then all the religion, from people from other religions will wear their things and come to the school, and it is against the ethos of the word uniformity. And as far as the government is considered, government took a stand about the uniform issues, and it stood with a stand. It is not about supporting boys, girls, and all those things. It is about getting uniformity in the educational institutions. Just see what's happening in Iran. 300 years ago, Iran was a free country. Iran was a free country in the sense people could wear what they want, do what they want, practice what they want. Since 300 years, they started with hijab, burqa, and now there is no body part, no skin part left in the body which is not covered. Socks, shoes, gloves, everything is covered now. Now what has happened? The whole of the Iran, the whole of the women in the Iran are protesting, and they're on the streets. This is what these people are trying to get into India. See, in Afghanistan also, same issue. They said Sharia. These students have to wear hijab. forget going to school. They are not allowed to school. They are allowed to go to school only. So this religion should not be
This is an argument that's been made by many people, not just the BJP or the government here. I'll take that to Mr. Shafiullah. Mr. Shafiullah, as a community, when do you believe that the community wants to, in a way, be progressive, get rid of some of these practices? Many are saying an Islamic country like Iran wants to get rid of it. Why should we impose it or bring it in Karnataka or in India? The second point that many are making is that when do we see reforms? Even if you are just looking at from India's point of view.
Mr. Harish, your question shows very clearly you could have easily asked when we will become Hindus and Christians. We want to remain Muslims. What is the problem with that?
No.
And progress means...
There's a very clear question that I'm asking.
Please let me
Many from within the community also believe it's time to reform.
My dear sir, reform in the way BJP and RSS wants us to reform. Why they should be, are they our masters? We Indian Muslims, we know our religion very well, and we know how to practice the religion, and we know what our girls should wear, and we know how our girls should get education. Why these people are causing hurdles into the education of our children, our girls, by raising the hijab
My final question, Mr. Shafiullah, there's a fear that if this is allowed, we'll end up in an Iran-like situation. How would you respond to that?
Why?
RSS or BJP is not present there.
I don't understand. I have a question to Mr. Bharat Shetty. I want to ask Mr. Bharat Shetty, how come those girls wearing the hijab comes in the way of Mr. Bharat Shetty's life or his boy's life who have agitated in the colleges? That is one. Another thing is, one more thing I want to tell you is, see, we know how to practice our religion. We are not copying either Iran or Iraq, and we cannot copy them in anything. Islam is very clear. Anybody can read and
don't make it a public affair
and follow.
All right. I'm absolutely out of time. I would like to thank Dr. Bharat Shetty and Dr. Shafiullah as well for joining us on the show today. Now, our other top story comes from Kerala, where two women were brutally tortured and killed in a shocking case of human sacrifice. Now, the question is, did Kerala government's failure to bring in a law against superstition and such practices result in this? My colleague, Neetu Regukumar, brings us this report.
Grisly, spine-chilling, macabre. Can't even begin to describe this shocker from Kerala's Pathanamthitta. 3 people tortured and killed 2 women. The victims, Rosalind and Padma, were tied up, choked. Their private parts were cut and bodies chopped up into 56 pieces and then buried. If that's not gruesome enough, the killers possibly ate their flesh in human sacrifice. The main accused, Muhammad Shafi, convinced a couple, Bhagaval Singh and Leila, to perform the human sacrifice to end their financial problems.
In a Bhagat Singh and Padana number of the data will chat and probably CCTV camera or a video at Tondor and the very and the number of bully order. Other registration over than the sea average.
Police have described Shafi as a sexual pervert and are also looking into complaints of missing women in the past 5 years to see if he's involved.
Motive for the main accused, Shafi, is he's a sexual pervert basically. Because in this murder, there is an element of gruesome, sadistic injuries made on the body. So it indicates a sexual perversion and a psychopathic kind of behavior on the part of A1 Shafi.
Shafi used to scour the internet for his victims. He used a fake Facebook profile in the name of a woman and got in touch with Bhagaval Singh more than a year and a half ago. Shafi introduced himself as Rashid and convinced the couple to perform the human sacrifice for the sake of financial prosperity.
An investigation into a missing complaint by Kadavandra police has brought out the details of human sacrifice and horrific murder of 2 women. Police is also investigating if there are more victims of the main accused, Shafi. With video journalist Ablash MS in Pathanamthitta, Neetu Regukumar.
Well, time for a quick break now. On the other side, we'll get you other major stories from South India.